Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben. Well, this is our second episode of the day. If you've not listened to our other episode, make sure you do give that a listen to, and check out yesterday's episode as well, because that is talking about all the seeds, what you can start sowing in February and get cracking down at the allotment and in the garden. And obviously you do need the heat to get them to germinate. But with the right temperature and the right conditions, you could be starting some of your seeds off nice and early and getting that head start on the year. So this is like the follow-up episode of that, and this episode is talking about all the jobs which need doing in the garden and in the allotment. And it's a good time to get all these jobs done, because the months will start to get busier and busier and busier. When you start sowing all those seeds, it will be becoming so busy you won't get a chance to do all these jobs. So it's good to keep on top of the jobs and get them all done if possible. So we are going to be going over what jobs to do in the vegetable garden, what jobs to do in the fruit garden, and what jobs to do in the flower garden. So it'll satisfy everybody. So depending on what part of the garden you've got, these jobs will be for you. So we'll start off with what jobs need doing in the vegetable garden this month, and there's not many jobs, so it'll be easy to get through them. It'll easily crack on. And the first jobs are, if you're growing asparagus, this month is the month to get them mulched and get that manure down, to get feeding them and get them waking up and get them started, really, get them going for the year ahead, because they will start waking up again and they will start sprouting again. So if you can give them that extra little push and extra bit of food, you will get some good harvests from them. So next up is the main bit, which I am currently going through the whole of my plot doing, and that is to sort out all your allotment beds. I know a lot of you, and I'm one of them. The beds will still have stuff in them from last year. It's an endless job getting them all tidied and getting them all cleaned up. But while the weeds are not growing fast at the moment, now is the time to prepare all your garden beds, all your allotment beds. Get weeding them, turning them over, covering them with plastic if needs be, and to warm them up, because it'll warm the soil up and help the plants grow. And if you want to add some manure, add some food into it, now is the time to be doing it, because you're not going to be planting stuff out until May time, until the frost has gone. So if you want some manure into it, put a layer of manure onto it, leave it there for a few months, and then dig it into the ground, and the worms will pull through all the nutrition into those beds. Potatoes. If you've not started chitting your potatoes and you want to do it this way via the chitting method, now is the time to get them chitted and get them growing. And I'm going to get some soon, in a couple of weeks hopefully, to get them started in my shed, because I've not got my potatoes yet, and that is one thing that I need to do. A lot of people seem to be buying them at the moment, so I'm hoping that they've still got some good varieties left. Now, in the fruit garden, this is a big section, because the fruit garden is the time to get ready in February, ready for that year ahead. If you're growing apple trees, these can still be pruned at the moment, because they're still pretty dormant. Even though mine has started to get buds on it, they are still pretty dormant, so you can still prune them back this month if you've not pruned them back. Make sure there's no branches crossing one another, and make sure that the air will get through the tree. Black currants, you can prune these this month. If you're growing black currants, why not try and take some cuttings and grow some more blackcurrant bushes, start some off for some neighbours on the plot, and help each other out. If you've got fruit bushes Add some potassium fertilizer this month on your fruit bushes, and this will help provide great growth for that plant. And again, if you're growing fruit trees, you can mulch around the fruit trees to help feed them for the year ahead. Gooseberries. If you've not pruned your gooseberries, this can still be done this month. Again, try taking some cuttings, give some to some allotment neighbours and friends, and get them growing them themselves. And if you're wanting to grow some gooseberries, I would suggest the red gooseberries because they are sweet, they're not sour like the green ones. Pear trees, like apple trees, you can still prune them this month in February while they're dormant. Get them tidied, get them sorted, and get them ready for the year ahead. Raspberries, this is the last month. If you have not pruned your raspberries back, you need to do it this month. Get it down on your list for this weekend and get them sorted. Autumn raspberries, prune them to the ground and they will grow new raspberries on new canes, and they will fruit on them canes this year. Summer raspberries, you prune back the canes which had raspberries on last year. The new growth, the new canes what grew this year, well last year, are the ones that will fruit this year. They're very complicated, but that's the way you do raspberries. Red currants, again like black currants, if you've not pruned them, get them pruned this month. Rhubarb, if you wanted an early crop, I know mine started sprouting now. Every time the frost comes it kills it off again and then it starts coming through again. But nope, if you're wanting an early crop, start forcing it. I'm not one for forcing rhubarb, I like it all natural, but if you wanted an early crop, now is the time to start forcing it. If you're wanting an early crop of strawberries, however, you can put them under cloches and put them on over the top of the plants, and this will encourage them to grow fruit earlier. You possibly won't get as much fruit, you still get the same amount of fruit, but if you wanted them earlier, get some cloches over your strawberry plants. This will keep them warmer and think that it's getting to summertime. But obviously when the flowers start to appear on them, you will need to take the cloches off so that the bees and everything can pollinate them. Stone fruit. If you've got nectarines, apricots, peaches, protect them from the cold weather with fleece. In the flower garden, not much to do in the flower garden because there's not many flowers around, but all these jobs can be done this month to keep your garden looking fantastic. Clematis, if you're growing a summer clematis, this is the month to get it pruned and get it tidied up, ready for the year ahead. Fuchsias, if you're wanting to prune your fuchsia back, these can be pruned to 2 buds on each shoot. Okay, they can be pruned back to 2 buds on each shoot. Heathers, if you're growing heathers, now is the time to prune those back. I've just planted my heathers and they're still all in colour, so I may not prune mine back yet. Pansies, you can still deadhead them this month to encourage new flowers. Keep them growing, keep deadheading them, and you will keep those flowers coming on the plant and keep it going all the way through, longer and longer and longer, because whenever you keep deadheading them, you will keep getting flowers on them. So that is all the jobs that can be done in the garden and the allotment this month. Again, you can listen back to it again, get your pen and paper out, get it all written down, get them on your jobs list and get them all done as fast as possible, because you will start to get busier in that garden and allotment. Trust me, I'm trying to get as much done as possible. I'm working my way down the whole of the plot and cracking on and doing as much as possible, and I will get there. Trust me, I am going for it this year, and I can't wait to share all the results with you. And I keep sharing all the photos on Instagram. If you're not following me on there, make sure you follow me and you see all my photos on there. And also, if you've not subscribed to this podcast, please do click that subscribe button, because it's great to see how many people subscribe each day. And also, if you've not reviewed it, please do review it. Apple, you can leave a written review, and Spotify, you can leave a star rating review, and it does help it get seen more and more people will listen to it, so it does really help me out. So thanks for those that have left reviews already. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.